for Hayes, yeah, I'm super glad you enjoyed it. I think I'm definitely gonna have to try it. My current issues are obviously Xenoblade is a thing. I have school now, and I want to talk about AC Valhalla actually, and
Okay.
hopefully I can have this full thought without the stream bopping me today. And so
So
far, it
you're
seems good.
still working your way through Valhalla.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm not going to spend too much time on it. I'm going to try and limit myself to less than 10 minutes, which I think is very good for me. So if I go past 4:45, I will stop myself. So here's my take now on AC Valhalla. I am now 50 some plus hours in. I think this is more than I played of Odyssey. They talked about this game supposedly being less grindy, supposedly being more streamlined. I think it's worse. I think it's
Another
more. I think it's more
another
grindy.
lie. Another lie.
I think it's more grindy. I think it is streamlined. I think it's more grindy. I think the approach that they've taken with the story. So Xenoblade is a linear story. Okay, you have one story, and yes, each chapter may have like a specific theme or line of it, like
Focus.
focus. There may be like a slight deviation, but overall, like when you go through that, you're continuing the main story overall. So like
Yeah, I mean
chapter one,
it's a JRPG. It's
right?
got a linear story.
You
That's
get,
pretty
I'm
great.
just going to streamline this even more and offend some people. Chapter one, you meet Pyra, you figure out what she wants, and you try and help her to get to the top of the tree. Chapter two, you meet up with Nia, and you're on another Titan in Gormont, and you have to do some shenanigans there. But you end up leaving Gormont with your new party to try and get to the tree. You get bopped before you get to the tree by a serpent, and you get swallowed by a whale Titan. And now we're hopefully we've left at this point I'm on now. We've left the whale Titan, but our goal is still set. And each chapter, while it is there is like a focus on the chapter, overall you're pushing forward the main story. That is the key there. You are pushing forward the story in a linear fashion. Assassin's Creed Valhalla is like it's a clusterfuck. It's like when a grenade goes off and the shrapnel goes everywhere. Is it a single explosion? Yes. But there's so much shrapnel that the damage is happening all over the place. It's a complete, I'm not going to say it's a disaster, but it's completely nonsensical what they've done
It,
here.
it's a mess.
It's a
Big mess.
complete and utter mess. So this is broken up. This is not a linear story. Even though I'm sure somebody's going to come in and probably say, "Oh, but it is." Okay, fine. You can think that if you want. I just don't agree with you. I think your story is you have to leave Norway because King Harold is unifying Norway. So you and your brother Sigurd leave to make a new life on England and settle. Then your goal becomes we want to make alliances. That's your goal. That's your story right now. Now, every time you try and make a new alliance, you go through a saga, which is, let's call that a chapter. You go through a chapter. That chapter has their condensed saga here, but ultimately, you haven't actually pushed the story forward. You're still if this is like a ladder, you get to the first floor, right? You get to you're on your first floor, you get to the second story after you leave Norway. And then you go one staircase, you go up. But ultimately, you come right back down to that staircase. And you get like a little nugget, and then you put it down. And then you got to go through another staircase, but you come back down. With Xenoblade, you still are technically going up that staircase. It's just like kind of like a slow drive up, back and forth. But you're still going up. In this one, you're going like this. It's all over the place. You're just going all over the place, but you're always coming back.
Permanently
This
stuck in
this is
filler
pissing me
arcs.
off. It's pissing me off. I'm so tired of it. There are so many sagas. There are over a dozen sagas, I think. My
Who,
map
who,
is now all over the place, just completely conquered map.
who are you making allies with? Is it other Norse
This
people
is
or are they English
both. It's
or
both.
both?
So
Okay.
at this point in time, England is completely fragmented. It's not unified at all. It's you got like You got London, which is spelled Lundnen. You got like Westminster. You got like all these different places. Mercia. Some other names I don't remember. You got all these different places that are. You have to think of it actually like Crusader Kings. Actually, is
So
great.
each
Yeah,
so each region has its own like
each region is
side
correct.
story basically. Okay,
And
got it.
even inside that region, there's a side story. There's a story.
Okay,
So
there's
let's
sub areas.
here's my big phone region. There's a sub region inside of there that there's a story
Oh,
sometimes.
okay.
It's not always, but it does happen where you're in a sub region like one specific city. There's at least a dozen right now. I've gone through a dozen sagas. I'm tired of it. I'm so tired of this. In Odyssey, I at least felt like I was going up the staircase. I at least felt like I was going up. Okay, like I kill some Cult of Cosmos members, but I'm still going up to try and get my brother Demos back and try and unbrainwash him. That's my goal, and I am going up this ladder to get there. I know I am. It's not like super linear, but I'm going up. Okay, in this game, I just like I want to play Odyssey. Every time I get into this game, I want to hope it's Odyssey, and then I
And
get
it's
into
not.
it, play for an hour, and realize this is not Odyssey. These sagas, I'm so tired of them. I'm so tired of
How
these
do
sagas.
did you
I'm
have
really done with this game now.
do you have to complete all the sagas in
Yes.
order to
Yes.
actually move forward with the actual main
Yes.
story?
Yes, correct. There's 12, there's a dozen of them at least. There has to be. Maybe I'm wrong, like off a little bit. It could be more. There's like a dozen of these. I'm so tired of them. I'm so tired of going to these cities, doing their bullshit. Like at the first 4 or 5, hell, even 6, I'm kind of on board with it.
Fine, yeah.
Holy moly, it's so bad. It's
Yeah.
so bad.
It's just getting
Again,
repetitive. It's getting repetitive and boring at this point.
in
It's like,
Odyssey, you kind of did some of that, but you were pushing the story forward. There's no story forward push. At this point, I'm just waiting for the culmination to be there's going to be some big ass war that you're making all these alliances for, and Sigurd's going to come in and try and like he's going to snap and he's going to go insane. And you're going to have to kill him. That's what's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. I've known it's going to happen 6 sagas ago, but we're still here.
I was like, I know how this is gonna end.
I
Can
know
we
how it's
just
gonna end.
get there already?
Just get there. I'm done with this game. I'm going to finish it. I'm done with this game though. Also, this is the last minute. I want to spend 1 minute on this last. Ubisoft. This rock puzzle. Whoever thought of it, you can burn. You can burn. Not really, like I don't obviously want you to like actually burn to death or something like that, but like you can just burn.
Dude,
That
dude,
idea can burn.
when we saw the trailers for the game before it came out and they showed the rock puzzle, I'm like, that looks fucking stupid. That looks
did it.
awful.
I did it today and it was horrible. It was so
Like
bad.
that.
I had to watch a video to figure out the full solution because I was like trying to do it and I was like, I'm spending 10 minutes on this terrible puzzle. I'm watching a video. And in the video, I swear to God, every comment was like, Ubisoft, congratulations. You made us watch a rock for 10 minutes. Like, this is the worst puzzle I've ever done in my life. It was so bad. Maybe it isn't the worst, but it's bad. It's up there. It triggered me. This game, with AC Odyssey, I would have given that game a very comfy 8.5 9 out of 10, and I would have walked away super happy about that. This game is pushing 7. This game is pushing 7. It's making me angry now. Every time I play it, it makes me more angry. The environment looks good. I like Eivor. Some of these characters are pretty solid. I hate Sigurd. He's a terrible character. And not because like I'm supposed to hate him. He's a terrible character. His one-armed ass keeps watching me make out with his wife, and he's like, can you imagine that? If you saw some dude making out with your wife, you'd probably be like, hey, stop that. And you might get really aggressive while doing that. Sigurd, he like looks you in the eyes while you're kissing her, and he's just like, he's just nothing. There's just nothing. There's no substance here. This game is pushing a 7. It's making me angry because Odyssey was so good. They should have just copy and pasted that game, put some Viking lore on it like
in
they
a
did
different
here.
region. Yeah.
Yeah, the snow regions
mean-
are beautiful though. I love the snow regions in this game. They're so good.
The
So
problem
good.
is I'm sure it's a different studio that's making this game than made Odyssey because they don't turn around and make the game in 1 year, right? So
Can that studio next time just copy and paste the other studio? Just copy it. Just take it.
Yeah.
Don't. This is a classic case of don't reinvent. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. The wheel was good over there. I liked it. I really liked it over there. That was really nice. I really enjoyed it. I could have stayed there for another 40 some hours. I can't stay in this game anymore. This game pisses me off.
Yep. Sounds like it has overstayed its welcome.
And I'm just like, I don't understand how this is on any good lists now. Like, how is this game getting an 8.5 or a 9 from people? Like, I'm going crazy. I'm like, well, this game is not. It's fun, but it's like potato chips. I don't get anything from it. Okay, so that's okay. Perfect timing. It's like a little bit past 4:45. This is perfect.
That's like exactly 10 minutes.
Perfect. Okay.
10-minute rant.
Now that I'm done with that, I kind of recapped Xenoblade already. I'm still preparing DBZ recaps. You can't see the writing, but it's on there. I'm still preparing DBZ recaps for this game. This game is very good. I really like it. This is a good game. It's a linear story that normally, like, I'm normally not necessarily on board with all JRPGs, if I'm just being honest with you. And this is good. This is a very good game.
There's open world elements though, where you just kind of get to go out and explore and do side quests and kill stuff in the world, and
I've gotten bopped a few times, and that was annoying.
Yeah, it happens
for sure.
I mean, it happens.
This is a good video game so far. I got lucky with some of the gacha, which was nice.
Finally.
Finally.
The
story's okay. I'm feeling pretty good with where we're going here. I can never remember all these names. I said Morag before. It was like Morag or whatever I said. Morgoth. I said Morgoth.
You said Morgoth.
I said Morgoth.
Morag is correct.
But it's Morag is correct. But I said Morgoth last time. I was just laughing. I was like, yeah, Morgoth. I don't know. Close enough.
Morgoth, the Lord of the Underworld.
Yeah. I mean, like, if I'm close, I give myself a gold star because I'm terrible with these names. Dude.
You got the first 4 letters or like 3 letters, right?
The trade place. All I can think of is Argentum. I don't know if
Argentum. That is right.
Shit, that was right.
Argentum Trade Guild. I think that's what it's called.
Give myself a gold star right there. This game is very good so far. I really like it. This is a good game. I think it's very fun. I think the characters for the most part are good. I haven't really had any problems with any characters yet. They're all well written out. Their dialogue. I mean, the dialogue is what it is, but I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt. I think it's overall fine. I think it's just funny at times too when Rex is like when he was in the bed with Mithra, and he just like did this scream and it was like You just, if I was in the studio listening to that, I would just like, I actually would just went, fuck it, just take it.
Move on, next.
Let's just go. God.
Next line. I mean, this game's got a lot of dialogue. There, those are probably some long recording sessions for Rex. Let's be honest, he's the main character.
Like, move on. We're behind. We're behind schedule. I don't know. I'm enjoying the game. I really am. I think it's well made. I'm liking it more than Assassin's Creed at the moment. Assassin's Creed just, oh god, I can't wait to finish that game. Every time, oh god, I'm going back to Assassin's Creed. This is just one other thing too. The reason why I'm liking Xenoblade right now more than Assassin's Creed, I'm going to make a good example. Every time in Assassin's Creed, there were these moments in the first games where you would assassinate somebody and then you'd have like this weird shadow conversation with them. You go into a shadowy realm and you have a conversation. In Assassin's Creed Valhalla, there's no build up to any of these characters. So when you kill them, like you get into this conversation with them. Every time I get into a conversation with them and I hear they're like one, I was like, there was this lady that was using kids as like, she was using child labor basically to do like steal and do all these things. And I just felt nothing for her because I was like, I've known you for 5 minutes in the game. I feel nothing. Like I haven't heard anything about you other than 5 minutes ago. But so when she died, or when I had the conversation with her, when she was telling me about her, like why she's doing what she does, I just didn't care. In this game, at least you have enough time with the characters, whether they die or whether you're like fighting them, where you kind of getting a sense of what they're trying to do, and you start caring a little bit more. Like I didn't use Van Damme a lot, but I can guarantee you I knew and had more feelings when he died in his chapter than the random 5-minute villain in Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Just trying to make a point here. At least with this game, whenever you see like a character that isn't just like a blank face or a generic name, you're getting more. You're getting more from them, and you get a little bit of background from them. You get to talk to them a bit more. You get to, like Van Damme, you fight him at first, and he seems like a real bad person. Maybe he just wants to take Pyra from you, but he ends up being a nice guy, and he's a mercenary, and he's just trying to do his job, and he's like showing you the ropes. He kind of becomes like your mentor in some ways, a little bit, just a little bit. That's nice. So when he dies, it's like kind of a, you know, it's a sad moment. You can get the sense why it would be a very sad moment.
Yeah, he's not a super important character, but yeah, I think mentor is a good word. He's like a mentor to Rex, and his part of his arc and his death is like teaching Rex a lesson as well. It's like, okay,
yeah,
you know, you gotta grow up a little bit, kid. Like, you know, right. I mean, yeah.
So just to make another comparison, in AC Valhalla, I just finished a saga. Again, where you meet this Jarl that Eivor knows, apparently. Eivor's got a great relationship with this Jarl. I have met this Jarl for 5 minutes, and then he dies, and the game's like, oh, it's very sad, let's make like this funeral. I literally give no fuck.
Like, I
fucking don't care.
I don't know this character.
I don't know this guy. I've had 2 conversations with him. I don't know him. Why should I care? You're giving me 5 minutes with this dude. I don't know why, but I hate when games do this. Like, oh, but your character knew who that was, so you should care. No, I don't. I just do not care. You can't do that. Van Damme, at least you had like several hours with him in game time, like
basically the entirety of chapter
3. So
Van Damme is with you.
So when he died, you're like, oh. And like for the people that actually used Van Damme during that chapter, that might have been a big deal, because you might have been thinking, oh, this is a character I'm going to keep using.
Yeah, he's a party. He's a party member. We're going to keep going with this guy.
No, he's gone, and so you're out of the party for obviously forever because he's dead. But this like random Jarl in Assassin's Creed, oh my god, like I don't even remember the Jarl's name. It's like Hemming or something. Jarl, who gives a fuck? That's what the name should be. And it's just like, that's the difference. Is at least with this Xenoblade game, when I meet a character that has an actual like name and a face that I need to remember over the course of a full chapter, you at least get some understanding of his relationship to your party and why maybe the significance of his death or like a betrayal matters. This is a much better game for that. Conversely, not all JRPGs are like this. Alvin in Tales, he betrays you so often it has no impact anymore. So this is like, that's a bad case of everything I just described.
Really again, Alvin?
Like, Alvin, this is the 3rd time. Can you just okay? It like, so there's actually like more of an impact here because it's not like it's happened. Obviously, like Van Damme hasn't died like multiple times, but point being, Xenoblade's doing a better job with their characters. They're doing a better job with their story. The combat's, it's good. It's solid. I have no complaints right now with the combat. Even with them screaming in the combat, if I take like 2 days off the game, it's fine. Then it's like new and interesting again. It's like, oh, they're screaming again. Huh.
Need a
okay.
break.
Yeah,
need
like,
a break.
like
need a break from the spinning kata.
Yeah. I think I'm very happy with this game. So I've got like 2 more minutes. I want to talk about for 2 more minutes a couple other things. I think the pacing of the game is overall fine. I think the side quests are not that fun, but it is what it is. They're side quests. They're largely uninteresting, but again,
mostly go fetch or go kill thing.
Like, whatever. It. Again, I'm whatever. I'm not gonna be too upset with that. It is what it is. I don't know of a lot of game like. Could the side quests have been better? Yeah, of course, but it's not. I can skip them. You know, like I could skip them if I wanted to. Probably not the best idea to skip all of them, but I could skip some of them. So there is one other thing I am annoyed about. I just want to, point of order, say this. And there are a lot of games that do this. So I want to end on this. The environmental skill checks thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that. that could go and I would have no feelings whatsoever. Like, just... I guess like for some of them, they're like, okay, but we want you to do it later in the game. That's fine, but I don't know. I don't like them. I don't like the skill checks. I know other games do it too, and I'm not going to be like crying at night about it.
Yeah,
But it's a little annoying.
as Ghost said, like the two main things that people complain about with Xenoblade 2 are the gacha system, which we talked about last week. Still kind of sucks.
It
Obviously,
does suck.
you hit some luck this week, which is nice to see, but it's still
It still
stupid.
sucks.
There's no point. I mean, you pulled Vale, who's an attack blade, on Nia, and then you just had to overdrive protocol her over to Rex.
Yeah, I just did. Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't have to, but you wanted to, so
Yeah.
you did it. Whereas, like, but now Nia doesn't have a good third blade. She doesn't have another unique. So,
Oh well.
yeah.
Oh, well.
I mean, so yeah, the gacha system is one, and two is the skill checks. People don't like the skill checks. It's stupid.
I know.
I think it was supposed to be like along the lines of the Merc missions, like, hey, we want you to be able to do something with all these useless freaking blades you pull out of the gacha system. But the problem is you have to like actually equip them on one of your characters in order for you to get the check. They can't just be sitting on the bench, quote unquote, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess if you just had so many blades, it might have made the checks kind of trivial since you could have so many different blades on the bench. But yeah, I don't like that system either, and I don't think many people do. It's just kind of annoying. It's a sort of just artificial wall that doesn't make much sense. And when you hit a skill check that is maybe not necessarily later in the game, but you get to a point with a skill check and you're like, oh, I just like don't have that. It's a particular skill, like, oh, I just don't have that, or I don't have the required level, so I need to go level up. And you have to like shuffling around your blades, like, oh, if I put like this guy and this guy in on Rex, and then these two in on Nia, then I can clear the skill. It's just annoying.
It's super annoying.
Dumb. It's dumb.
It's annoying, but like I said, overall, this game is feeling better. I mean, it's not the same hours for like AC Valhalla, but
I mean, you're like 20 or so in it
like
right now, right?
Yeah, I would say like 20 some. I haven't checked. I should check it next time, but I'm like 20 some in. AC Valhalla was pretty good for like 30 hours, and I'm 50 some hours in. So the last 25 hours have just been doing more of these sagas. But the map is almost finished, so AC Valhalla should almost be done theoretically. The map is almost done. Hooray.
Wait, you don't want to do round 2 through all of the regions and do another saga in every region?
This is a game I don't want to play again. With Odyssey, I would have happily played it again. I don't want to play the Valhalla again. I have no interest in playing this again. I have no interest in playing Valhalla for any other after game content or events. I don't even think I want to play any DLC for this game.
You just want to beat it and be done with it.
I just want to beat it, put it on the shelf, and move on with my life. And move on to like something else. I did get a couple other games, like Immortals: Phoenix Rising. I should look. I got a couple games actually from the Epic Game Store when they had a nice little sale where they kept giving you coupons. I got I got Hades, obviously. Immortals: Phoenix Rising. I'm very interested in that one. I was thinking about playing Walking Dead. The one you played, playing through that again, but yeah, I don't have much else to say. I think Xenoblade so far has been very fun. I'm interested in continuing. I didn't continue today because I was doing some other personal stuff, but very interested in continuing in the future, given school doesn't kick my ass.
Yep, it happens. It'll be a slowly but surely on that one, probably, especially that school's started again, but you'll get there. I mean, I don't think it'll take you 100 hours to beat the game. That's what it took me, but I did a lot of, like, you're doing a lot of the side stuff, but I just don't think, I feel like you're going faster than I was. I don't exactly remember how many hours I had played at this point, but I feel like you're going faster.
If I put 80 hours into this game, I think I'm fine. I think I'm fine with 80 hours.
Yeah.
I think if like, I don't know, like, what it'll end up being, but I think 80 hours, I'm probably fine. If you told me play 80 hours of AC Valhalla, good Lord, I'd be bored out of my mind. I'm slogging through Valhalla. Like, I can't even put more than an hour and a half or 2 hours into this game. It's like, holy moly.
Yeah, that's rough.
Anyway, that's all I have to say about Xenoblade. I don't want to say any more. I think game's good.
Yep.
So can you? So we have this on our little topic list here, and you mentioned it before. Why don't you talk about your randos a bit?
Yeah, so if anyone's been, I know at least some people here have been watching my channel. Tyler's actually been there for a lot of the randos, but I've been playing the Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix randomizer, or as it's called, the Garden of Assemblage mod, which is a mod that was developed mostly by a person in the Kingdom Hearts community known as Sonic Shadow Silver 2, with help from another guy named Valaxor and Dessa. There's some numbers at the end of his name, but I don't know what they are. So I'm sure there were other people that contributed, but those are the main three as far as I know. Which is a mod for Kingdom Hearts 2. It's a mod for Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix that basically changes the world map into the Garden of Assemblage, which is the area where you fight the 13 data organization fights in the game, is changed to the world map. So each of the portals corresponds to one of the different worlds in the game. And you can go wherever you want at any time you want, and all the chests, the get bonuses, the pop-ups, pretty much everything in the game is randomized. What you start with is randomized, with the exception you always start with the Kingdom Key, Sora's base weapon, but the abilities that are attached to the Keyblades are also randomized. And the goal of the randomizer is to collect the 3 proofs. The proof of connection, proof of non-existence, and proof of peace, which in the base game you get by defeating the super boss, the Lingering Will, or Terra, beating the 13 data organizations fights. That's the proof of non-existence.
Okay.
And the proof of peace you get for beating all the mushroom mini games. I think there's 13 of them as well.
Okay.
I could be wrong. Nah, maybe there's not that many, but there's a bunch of these mushroom mini games you have to beat, and then you can get the proof of peace. That's in the vanilla game, but as this is a randomizer, they are a randomized item that you can collect. You could theoretically start with all 3, and there's an option in the randomizer to make a seed that is called Go mode, where you do start with all 3.
You just get all 3 and you go. You just go right to the, I guess.
Yeah, and then so what the proofs do is they unlock the final door at the top of the world that never was, which is the final world again in the vanilla game, and allows you to enter the final boss segment of the game and beat the game. Basically, once you beat the final boss fight, Final Xemnas, then you beat the randomizer.
So for just to clarify a couple things. So 3 proofs. You need 3 proofs to go open the door to the end. Okay, let's just call it that way. Okay. So what is typically your average time for getting all these proofs? Obviously, it's up to just randomness on if you could get them right away or if you could get them just at the very end. But typically for you, what's average, and what's average for? Do you know what everybody else typically averages? Is it okay? Everybody gets it takes everybody 2 hours, and they.
I would say 2 hours is actually a good average. I'd say that I average around 2 hours. Some of the better players seem to average more between an hour and a half and 2 hours. I've seen seeds done under an hour and a half, like an hour 20, an hour 25, something like that. So yeah, I mean, it really depends where the proofs are, and also what tools you have to beat the game, because the end game fights, there are ways to cheese Roxas, which is the first fight in the world that never was. There's easy ways to cheese him. As long as you have a quick run, you can cheese that fight.
Okay.
So that one's easy, which is actually it's a wall fight in the vanilla game. I know you've played it, and that fight is pretty hard.
It's difficult. I don't think I actually had as much trouble as people thought. I did lose to it.
Yeah, you died a few times. I mean, once you get his patterns, and if you're good at guarding and reflecting, it's really not that hard. But
it's a tough fight. It is a tough fight.
if you're used to, most of the rest of the game is not that hard, and you kind of just mash X, which is the attack button, and just kill stuff. Now Roxas, you can't mash X on. He'll crush you.
He just bullies you.
But yeah, so that fight's easy. It's actually free in the randomizer as long as you have a quick run. But then after that, like the next fight is Zigbar, who's this organization member who's got like two shoot like crossbows. They're not really crossbows. Yep. He shoots like energy bolts basically, but I'll call them crossbows because they kind of look like crossbows. Yeah. And that fight's a wall. You need some very specific tools to be able to deal with him efficiently, at least. And then like the card guy Luxord is next. Yep. If you know how to deal with him, he's not that bad, but he does hurt. So if he can kill you. And then Saïx, who's the next fight, is... I mean, he can be hard if you don't have the right tools. He's free if you have Peter Pan, but again, it's a randomizer. You don't always have Peter Pan. And then Xemnas 1 is generally not that hard, but I've had seeds where he just gave me a lot of trouble for whatever reason. Like, he really hurts if he hits you and you don't have the right tools. So yeah, as I said, everything in the game is randomized. All the abilities, all the items, the magic spells are randomized. The torn pages, which allow you to access the different areas of the Winnie the Pooh world. And yeah, as I said, the goal is to collect the 3 proofs and then beat the game. There is also an option that I don't play with because I've been playing with the tournament settings because I'm preparing for the tournament. There's an item called the Promise Charm, which allows you to skip the world that never was, so you don't have to go through Roxas, Zigbar, Luxord, Saïx, or Xemnas. So if you have the Promise Charm and the 3 proofs, you just go straight into the final fights. So you don't have to do the world that never was.
So, just to add on a couple tidbits. So, I don't think you said this, but for you, one, is there any way to, I don't want to say like fully manipulate, but could you guess some of the RNG after a certain period of time? Could you like get like a general idea of, okay, if after these certain worlds that I go through in my path, because I'm sure you have like a very specific path you take like you just like, okay, I'm just going to do these worlds first. Given this,
I have a specific opening.
Right.
After the first couple, though, like, yeah, it kind of depends what you have. So depending on what I have to deal with certain things, and also the I forgot to mention the secret Ansem reports, which are just lore documents in the vanilla game that give you information. In the randomizer, it's been developed. You need an external tool to do this, but if you're playing with hints, which again the tournament does, you every time you find a secret Ansem report, you can drop it into your tracker in the world that you found it in, and it will give you a hint that says there are X number of important checks in Y world.
Okay, that's nice.
And there are 50. There are 50 important quote unquote important checks in the game. If you have Promise Charm off, if you have Promise Charm on, it's 51. So, and the important checks are, I guess I'll go through them real quick. The 13 secret Ansem reports, 5 drive forms. There's 6 magic spells with 3 copies of each, so there's 18 magic spells. The 5 torn pages. What am I missing? Second chance and once more, which are abilities that allow you to survive at low health, and through the 3 proofs.
Yep.
And yes, the proofs. So if you're playing with hints, the proofs always have to be hinted. So yeah, the hints are generally generated pretty randomly. They're generated randomly through, again, an external tool. But the 3 proofs must be hinted.
Okay.
So when you get a hint for a world, there's a much higher chance that there's a proof in that world. Basically.
Okay. So let's talk about like tournament real quick. So how does the tournament get set up? Is it one of those where everybody just... It's like an actual, like, everybody's at the starting line and somebody fires a gun and everybody just goes? Or is it something a little bit more structured than just, okay, we're all starting at 6 o'clock?
Yeah, so this tournament is, there was one last week, and this week is the same format. They're calling it a weekend blitz tournament, basically. So there will be a qualifier seed that is played tonight. Every single person will play the exact same seed, starting at the exact same time. There are a few people that they do what they call asyncing, which is they have played the seed at some point earlier in the day on a secret, like a unknown secret Twitch channel, and sent that video to
Because not
the
everybody might be able
organizers,
to,
because maybe they can't race at the particular time. It's late for a lot of people. This this week's tournament was supposed to be West Coast friendly, so it starts at 7 p.m. West Coast time. The one last week started at 7 p.m. East Coast time, so 4 p.m. Pacific. And people on the West Coast were like, "Hey, I can't really do that. That's in the middle of the day." So
for whatever reason, yeah, they can't do it.
So yeah, some people async. Apparently, there was only one who did it last week, but apparently there's going to be more this week. But yeah, everyone will join a race time lobby, which again is another site that we use for setting up races. We'll all join the lobby, and once everyone is ready or at the set time, there's like a 15-second countdown on the thing, and once the countdown ends, it's go. Everyone has the exact same seed with the exact same hints, so it's a level playing field in terms of that. And yeah, and top 16 in the qualifier go into a bracket, single elimination bracket.
Okay, couple questions. Are you gonna stream this? I just have to.
I will be streaming it on my own Twitch channel tonight at 7. I will not be interacting. I will not be looking at chat at all. But I will be. You are required to stream it because they have to. The tournament organizers have to moderate and make sure people aren't cheating, or I mean, it's going to be hard to watch 50 streams at once, but they're going to check in on people.
Well, so here's my question. So if everybody streams, which is 100% fine, since everybody's on the same seed, couldn't I pull up 3 other streams, and just couldn't I cheat that way? Couldn't I just say, okay, I'm gonna play. I have 2 other streamers over here. Let's say you and somebody else. And I go, okay, I've gotten these ones. I'm going to do different worlds than Spoon. And Spoon will basically give me information on what I need to do. Like, Spoon's basically my eyes without him even knowing it. How do they stop that? I mean, even with a delay, you're still going to get hit by that.
I mean, theoretically, yeah, people could cheat that way, but I mean, part of it is, personal integrity, I think, and the other is I'm sure there's going to be people watching and trying to see if they see people cheating. It looks like if they're looking it away or clicking on stuff that isn't their tracker, and I'm sure there will be people monitoring. Again, it's going to be hard to watch 50 streams or whatever at once, but sure. I'm sure they'll be checking in on people and making sure people aren't cheating.
Do you have to have a camera?
No, you don't. You're not required to have a camera. Yeah, again, I don't 100% know how they moderate it in terms of that. Once it gets to the bracket stage and it's 1v1s, it's much easier.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, at that point, it just really doesn't matter.
But yeah, I mean, it's for fun. There's no prize money. There's no prize. It's just
so there's really no incentive then.
Pride and bragging. It's just for incentive. And I'm sure if it's honor system, and I'm sure if they caught you cheating, they would ban you for future tournaments. So.
Sure. I don't know. It's just for me, as much as we like to go by the honor system, people cheat. People do it. Whether they know it or not, they do it.
And there's other ways you could cheat too. That they're gonna release the seed 15 minutes before the scheduled start time, so someone could start up the seed and play a little bit before starting and kind of get a sense for where things are.
Yeah, I suppose.
And there's also with the Ansem reports, the hints, you can. So if you click a report in the wrong world on your tracker, you get a strike. This is to prevent cheating with the reports. You get a strike, and if you get 3 strikes on a report, you can't use that report anymore. You're not allowed to use it anymore. But theoretically, people could again load the hints up, just test the reports in all the different places. This is before the race starts, and just see where the reports go and what the hints look like. Maybe write it on a separate sheet of paper or something, what the hints look like, because you can just load up the hints, even if you get the strikes, reset your tracker and then like just keep trying it again. Again, there are ways to cheat if you want to, 100%, and they aren't really going to be able to stop it. But
I see. Okay.
I feel like if you need to cheat though, you're not. It's too much work. A and B. If you need to cheat, you're not good enough, and you're not gonna win. Maybe you'll
you'll win the qualifier, I guess, but after that you'll just lose.
Maybe you'll get in. Maybe you'll qualify. Even with cheating, I don't like someone who was gonna cheat. I don't think would win the qualifier. They might actually qualify, but just like if you're just good, then you'll qualify. Like just play well.
I've sometimes people don't even know they're cheating too. Like I've had that happen a lot where people they just like didn't know, and they're like, okay, I didn't know, take the slap on the wrist. But God, there are some folks who they cheat and they are not happy when they're caught cheating. And so that I had one particular case where that happened only once.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I mean,
yeah. Okay, so you're gonna be doing that after your dinner, I assume.
Tonight. Tonight at 7 is the qualifier seed. I mean, upsets happen in the 1v1s. Sometimes there's, there were 2 upsets in, I want to say it was either top 8 or top 4 last week. 2 much higher seeded, much better players, in my opinion, lost to some other people. One of them, the developer of the mod, Sonic Shadow Silver 2, lost to, I don't remember who he lost to, but there was 2. They had a hint for simulated Twilight Town, which is Roxas World, or which is the beginning of the game in Kingdom Hearts 2, where you have to play as Roxas.
Mm-hmm.
And we call that place jail because you can't leave. Once you go in, you can't leave.
Oh.
And it takes like 10 to 15 minutes to complete. Most worlds you can like go in, grab chests, and then as soon as you find a save point, you can just leave the world and go back to the garden and go somewhere else. Not in jail. In jail, you can't leave because, again, in the vanilla game, the world map isn't accessible from Roxas World. None of the save points you can go to the world map in Roxas World. So you have to basically complete the world. Once you get to the basement of the mansion, which is right before the last 2 fights of the world, you can leave. But basically you're stuck there for 10 to 15 minutes. But anyways, in this seed, they had a hint for simulated Twilight Town. It said there are 2 important checks in simulated Twilight Town. And Sonic decided to ignore that hint and go other places and get a lot of other stuff. The other player, on the other hand, decided to push the hint and found both proofs in simulated Twilight Town.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I mean, it's random. I mean, it's random. So sometimes you just make the wrong play. You make the wrong read. You make the wrong play. Well, like, oh, okay, there's 2 there. Maybe I'll do it eventually. But surely both proofs won't be there. Well, okay.
And you're stuck there for 15 to 20 minutes. So it's maybe as a read, you're like, okay, I'm taking. It's not like it's a low risk thing. It's like, okay, 2 of them in there, low risk. I'm going to be stuck there for 15, 20 minutes. I'm just going to hope that they're not there, and go and move on. That's I mean, good. I don't even know if you'd say it's a good play for the other person.
Oh, for the underdog, that is a good play because if you're the underdog in one of these races, if you just play it straight up, you're probably gonna lose unless you get lucky.
Yeah.
Like if I end up qualifying and then I play like Ninten or Salad or even like Sonic, one of the top people, I might just in one of my races just do a YOLO like unhinted STT. I'm like, man, is it here? Am I gonna win just because of a Galaxy Brain stupid play?
Sure.
Maybe, but I'm probably not gonna win if I don't do it. So
okay, I don't know. I just who knows? That's such it's a heavy risk. I guess like if you're in that position, you take the heavy risk, but that's got to be just like, okay. They were there.
Yeah,
well,
that feels bad.
Whatever.
And then there was another race that was an upset. Again, another player, Cole Quill. He's not as big of a name in the community, but he's gotten really good at rando for sure. He had 2 proofs forever, and he had more stuff. He played better than the other guy, but he just didn't go to Beast Castle. It was an unhinted Beast Castle. and the proof was in Beast Castle. I think it might have been a self, like the hint was there too, so you wouldn't have gotten the hint unless you went there.
That's so dumb. No.
So yeah, he went to Beast Castle like 2 hours or 2.5 hours in, and it was near the beginning of Beast Castle. It wasn't even that deep, and it was like as soon as he got it, he was like, "Yeah, I lost. Like, there's just no way. It was too late."
That's frustrating, but I mean, it happens. It's tough. It
Yeah,
happens.
It's rando. There is a lot of skill involved. You like need to be good at the game to clear some of the harder fights at lower level until you sort of level up and can really get going. And clearing the world that never was and final fights at low level is very difficult, and the higher skill players can do that. Like I had a race against Nintendo yesterday. It was a quote unquote go mode seed. We didn't set it to go mode, but all the proofs were pretty early, so we knew it was kind of just go. He said he did Zigbar at level 14. I'm like, okay. I mean, I can't do that, but cool. Like, I'm gonna level up first, so I don't death cycle to this for 20 minutes.
Okay. The skill involved is my dodge is so bad. Oh no, that's
rip dodge, dude.
Oh my goodness, that's so toxic.
So yeah, there's skill and there's routing decisions based on the hints. Obviously, like you have to decide whether you want to. Do you want to push that one ST? Like, okay, I played a seed today where I had a an STT hint that with one. There was one important check and I have to go to jail for 10 minutes to get that check. And it took me a while to do it because it took me a while to find the other two proofs. But it turned out that the last proof was there. I did it finally but I made a decision at one point. I'm like, I'm not going there until I have two proofs. Once I have two proofs, I will probably go there if there's nothing else to do. And that's what I did. But it's a risk reward,
of course.
balance. It's like, and decision making, where do I want to go? Do I go for like check density? Do I go to an unhinted place to just because it's a place I haven't been to yet, and I'll just get a bunch of stuff? There's a chance that you open the chest and it's all just like synth items and potions and AP boosts, just like junk you don't want, basically. But then there's a chance that today again in that seed I went to an unhinted beast castle and there were 6 important things there, like not right off the bat, but in the normal path that I do, you go up to Beast, which is like right before the boss of the first visit. And again, it was unhinted, and I got 6 things.
There you go.
Yesterday in a race, I did the same thing. I did an unhinted Beast Castle, and I did unhinted Disney Castle up to Timeless, and there was just junk in both of those places, so I wasted my time. So again, it's routing, decision making, a little bit of luck, skill, and being able to clear the fights quickly, efficiently, and sometimes at very low level. It's a lot of fun. You know how much I love Kingdom Hearts 2, and this randomizer is just it's infinite replay value. There's
different. Well, yeah, it should theoretically always be different.
Yeah, there's 500. There's like over 500 checks in the game.
Oh,
total.
God. Okay, I don't know how many places are going, but that's a lot of options. So you should always hit something different, unless you play the game a godly amount of times.
I'm sure there is not an infinite number of possible seeds.
It's insanely high,
but it's.
You said 500? I don't know.
There's I think there's five. I want to say there's 515 total checks in the game.
How many places can they go? 550 out of 515? Are they actually, or is it like there are 515 checks and there's 1,000 chests?
They're not all chests. Some are like, well, you could call it a chest. Like some are, but yeah, theoretically, most things can go about anywhere. There's like few things in logic that certain things can't be in certain places. Like the torn pages for Winnie the Pooh, for example, can't be past the first area of Pooh's house, because then you could get a soft lock where you couldn't find the torn page because it was on the last page, which you'd need the 5th torn page to get there if it could theoretically be there. So
yeah, I don't think it's not 515 factorial.
Yeah, it's not 515 factorial, but it's
If there's multiple copies of a lot of items, then yeah, it's not. You have to figure
there's
out all the copies of those.
There's multiple copies of a bunch of items like potions, AP boots,
but it's crazy.
items.
But it's actually insane.
It's insanely high. There's near infinite replay value for this randomizer.
You'd have to play it so much. You basically have to play it. Even if you play like once, you couldn't. You almost, the probability of replicating a seed is, I dare say, impossible unless you played the game all day, every day for your entire life, and even then, I doubt it. I still doubt it to get there. It's just not enough. It's just not enough. So yeah, you're hopefully gonna get something different each time. I guess there is a chance you could get something the same, but yeah, it won't. But it won't.
I mean, within the last week, I had 2 different seeds where there was a proof on Hades.
Yeah, I mean, of course that can happen, right? But again, it's like odds of that are so tiny that it's just okay. If it does, it's incredible.
It's always funny when you play the randomizer and you find a quote-unquote vanilla check. Like you find the thing that's supposed to be there in the vanilla game. You're like, oh, there's the Stitch chest or whatever in Hollow Bastions. Like, you get Stitch out of that chest. You're like, oh, vanilla check. Cool, dude. Like, very nice. That's always funny.
Hey, man. It can happen. It could, of course, happen.
Yeah. We see vanilla checks occasionally, but... No, the randomizer is so fun. I'm excited for the tournament. I think the competition is going to be pretty stiff. A lot of good players playing.
How many players?
Last week there were 44 plus the one async. From what I've been seeing, there might be more this week, but we'll see. But I think it'll be around there, around 50.
And 16 move on, or 8?
16 qualify for the single elimination.
So definitely under half actually qualify. Okay, so that's tough.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's a bunch of people, like, I don't want to be toxic, but there's a bunch of people that just seem to show up for fun, even though they have no chance, which is perfectly fine.
Yeah, why not?
But yeah, there was, I don't want to say half, but at least like 10 or 15 of the people in the seed last week didn't finish. They just forfeited the race. They didn't complete the seed. So,
I see. Yeah, I'm sorry. Try Courage. Come on, man. Come on, man. I'll be stiff watching the competition. That's so, like, weird. Try. Oh, my God. Get a cold shower. Take a cold shower, please. Yeah, I mean, that should... I'm glad you're enjoying that, and you have time to do it just because your school isn't starting till next month. So you got some time to do it. That's yeah, that sounds really cool. I will say, don't forget... Chrono Trigger, I hope at some point will happen. I hope you can sneak in a couple.
Yeah.
It shouldn't take you that long to beat that game. There's going to be a couple parts of it. I know there's one particular part of that game you're going to be kind of annoyed at. This is a where the fuck do I go type of game. They don't always give you the best hint.
It's an old game that's going to happen.
You might get a little bit annoyed at one point. There's one point where they're just like, "Did you know you're supposed to go here?" No? Okay, well, you're going to spend some time figuring that out. It shouldn't take you long though to finish. It really shouldn't. And I'm excited for that. So, let's see. Yeah. We got a little bit of time too. We can talk about some other things besides, obviously, unless you want to talk about the randos more. Of course.
I think I've said my piece on it.
Is it every week? Do they always do it every week?
A tournament?
Well, I mean, just like they don't do this every week, or is it just like this was like a random thing?
Yeah, they're gonna be at least. It kind of depends, some of the organizers are looking for more people to step up and help them with organizing it. So if that doesn't happen, there are going to be tournaments. There's going to be, there was a more extensive league, quote unquote, or bracket that happened before the end of last year.
I don't know. I don't understand what they're saying. I don't understand it. I don't.
Okay.
I don't even know what to say. I have no comment to what's happening right now in chat. We've got some people that need a cold shower. That's all I have to say. People need a cold shower. Some folks need a cold shower.
Yeah. So there might be one. So I think their plan was to sort of do a rotation where they do like an Eastern time friendly one, a West Coast friendly one, and then an EU friendly time.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
EU friendly time is kind of interesting. So if they started at 7 p.m. somewhere in Europe, that would
yeah,
be quite,
that would
I
be
guess,
like
early.
11 a. It would be like 11 a.m.
Yeah,
here or something like that.
yeah, it gotta be 11. It gotta be 11 a.m. Something like that.
Um, yeah, and then there's going to be other tournaments. It's just like people if people want to do it. The community's huge right now. The rando's really popular. Like every Kingdom Hearts 2 streamer out there, or every Kingdom Hearts streamer out there, pretty much is playing rando right now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's huge in the community, and yeah, I probably won't enter every week, um, but I will occasionally. Like when school starts back up again, I probably won't be able to. I'll want to, and I might have to just not because um
Cause school, man.
yeah, because school.
Cause
So
school can be tough. School can kick our asses sometimes.
yes, it sure can. Um, so yeah, we'll see if the EU friendly tournament happens next week, or if they can't get organizers to actually do it. I don't know.
Interesting.
Um,
Okay.
but yeah, I mean, it's a thing that's gonna keep going at least for a bit, as long as people are still interested. It seems so. Um, yeah, it's cool.
Okay. No, it's
Rando's fun.
yeah. No, like I said, I'm glad you're back into it. I know you did it like before school a while ago, so it's
No,
no, it's good. Is
yeah,
it?
Bray, I know you're just I know you're
We
just
just
kidding. I just didn't know what to say to it. I was
we
like,
just like
okay,
like
yeah.
my only comment is just like everybody needs to go take a cold shower. Obviously, there's some things happening right now, so let's
But I
see.
definitely,
Yeah,
obviously, I'm not going to be talking, looking at chat or talking at chat. But
sure.
I'd appreciate if people show up and watch the stream
I
tonight and cheer me on from the sidelines, even though I won't be able to hear you, quote
I
unquote, hear you.
I unfortunately can't because I'm going to go to
Yeah,
class in like 30 minutes,
yeah,
but
fair enough.
I send my energy to you for hopefully you can qualify. That'd be cool. And then I'm sure you'll have to stream again, obviously, if you do qualify. So that'll be something.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, and be sure to ban big
yeah.
follows.
I actually will need at least one mod in there to like at least
Yeah,
ban
somebody's got to ban
ban
big
follows.
follows. I can't
And
do it.
also, I know people have been doing this in the in other rando channels, but there is a prediction function which I don't know if I have to give you more mod power to do it, but it seems like mods can activate it from what I've seen.
Yes, yeah. So the prediction is for affiliates now, and partners should have this access. They can you start up a prediction. Let's just say like we had access to it. We say like,
Yeah,
will I pick my nose? And if I do it, if I do just go on in there, then like we do like a payout based on who voted yes or no. So you could do like a prediction of, okay, will I do this run in under 2.5 hours, and people can buy into it, and they
yeah,
like if you it. I mean, depending on what happens, like let's say you're on the side that has a lower percentage of channel points being put into it, you could get a huge payout of that for channel points. So your mods could do it. I think
yeah.
you can also do it. I
I
think you
can
could
do
do
it,
it.
but I'm not gonna do it
Yeah,
during the run. I'm not gonna spend time to go over and
yeah.
click the prediction button and like start up. So if you guys want to hang out in the stream, watch the run. If we have mods who are interested in, if there's enough people in there to start up, a prediction for proof within the first hour, or finish sub 2, like whatever you want to do, with proofs, or like what are we gonna find magic here? Are we gonna find torn pages? I don't know. Have fun with it. There is this, so goes for people who don't know how to use their mod powers. There is a mod view button, which
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it's in there somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't really use it, but yep. So yeah, if and there's nothing generally to do with my channel points, so I think that'll be a fun way for
It's just
people to
like yeah, it's
gamble
kind
their
of
channel
fun.
points on that.
It's pretty fun. Yeah, I
So
think
yeah,
it's a cool thing.
I'd appreciate you guys watching, and obviously you don't have to do the prediction thing if you don't want to, but it would be fun if you want to.
Buy merch is gambling instead. You could do that, I suppose. So there's okay, yeah, no. If everybody in here feel free to stop by. I mean, Spoon's not going to answer anything, but feel free to stop by, say good luck.
Yeah. Flame me as much as you want.
I have a huge favor for someone in here. I have a huge favor to ask. It is like my thing, my policy, to give a resident sleeper to Spoon every stream.
Every stream.
I'm gonna need one of you guys to go in and resident sleeper for him, because this is like my thing. I always go in there and no matter what he's playing. He could be playing the most entertaining, godly game in existence. I will resident sleeper him for that. It is the thing I do now and there. So somebody resident sleeper, just one. It's only one. You don't post more than one.
Just the one.
Only one.
Not even the pyramid. You don't even go for it.
No, I don't even do that anymore. Just one sleeper, please. I'd appreciate that. So we got a little bit of time before we have to unfortunately end due to my school class that I have to set up for and get ready for. Again, hopefully it won't be too bad. I'd love to continue doing more Xenoblade stuff and things like that, and I'd love to personally continue some other stuff, but I've been talking to Spoon about it, just making sure to let him know that for my streams in particular, I don't know when the next Xenoblade's going to be. I don't know when Spoon's going to do his Chrono Trigger. I would actually love to see a rando come on our channel at some point. That would be great. I think
doing maybe if I qualify, I will do a practice seed on the channel, like on this channel tomorrow.
I think that would be cool too. We could have a couple of those on there just for fun. I think it'd be a great thing personally, and I think you've mentioned it before too, that you might be interested in doing some stuff like that on the channel. Okay, I have like one last thing before we start rounding down that I need help with. So guys, the reason why I didn't stream Xenoblade this morning, and I've sort of been having conversations with family about this stuff. This is semi-serious topic, and I'm curious to hear what you guys think. So I'm going to be actually doing. So I've set up a Charles Schwab account. Okay, if you don't know what Charles Schwab is, essentially it's going to let me do. I've just set up simply a brokerage account. I'm going to actually be doing investments. So I have one particular investment that I would like to make that is a game company, game publisher related investment. You guys should send me which game companies I should invest in, because I'm actually honestly looking for one. I have a couple I'm already thinking of, but you guys should seriously send me some stuff so I can take a look, because I do need I can't think of all the game companies that are public right now. So this is the reason why I didn't do Xenoblade, and I'm doing it right now. I'm doing all this stuff starting this week. I'm trying to get it all set up, but it's something that I think is good. I've got some money in savings that I'd like to do this with. So feel free to send me some game publishers and stuff that are on public. Go to Google Finance and start typing those in and seeing what you get. You can give me an opinion on mine actually right now, Spoon. I've got a couple I'm already thinking of. Ubisoft is one of them. After I shit on AC Valhalla, Ubisoft is one of them.
The quality of the games they release rarely affects the stock price.
You say that.
Well, Cyberpunk got crushed. But that was okay. If you release a dog turd, then yeah. But Ubisoft, their games are usually pretty safe. I would say they kind of just copy the same formula.
No, they do. The CD Projekt Red was an interesting one. I had my family invest in that one actually when it dipped down, because
after it crashed.
Because basically the thought process, okay, well they're gonna put a couple updates out and it's gonna go up again. There's a couple other ones I have that I'm thinking of as well. I was also thinking of Lyft or Uber. Those ones I'm hoping those ones will go up once everything's said and done. So there's that's, I don't know, that was a side thing, but I would like some help thinking of game companies. I want to have one of them. And
I obviously don't know much about investing or stock prices or anything like that, but I mean Ubisoft seems like a pretty safe bet. They're pretty consistent for the most part. Again, I have no idea what their stock looks like and what it does, but
actually it would be good, by the way, for everybody to at least go to Google Finance. Go to google.finance.com or whatever the URL is, and just start looking at stuff. I think it's definitely a good practice for people just to see. There's they have some nice things where you can see trends and stuff. So I think it's good, and I'm definitely getting into it just because I have savings. I have like some savings I haven't spent, just getting things started, and seeing if, I mean, it's just sitting in the bank right now, and I would like to use it to invest in stuff. So this is, I mean, it's stuff that I think, as a side note, everybody should at least look at. But I would actually like help looking at some of these stocks, because I've looked at Activision's too. Activision's is like $90 right now or something like that. It's pretty steady. EA's is a good one to invest into, because it's been going up consistently for the last period of time. Those are generally pretty good. So
yeah, but fuck EA though.
But it's so tough. So you have to, like, on some level, also separate all that. It's so tough because I have so many opinions on some of these couple. Like Apple, for example, is probably a good stock to invest in, but I hate Apple with a fiery passion. I really do hate Apple. So that's, oh my god, it is what it is though. But I think it is good practice. It's like a side note. You guys should really start looking at it, and it's a good thing to think about. It's kind of interesting too to watch. If you're any sort of person that likes to look at data, statistics, charts, looking at that stuff is really interesting. Actually, if you look at the charts for Uber and Lyft, those are actually fun charts. You can tell when COVID hit, and you can tell when Prop 22 passed in California. Yeah. You can tell.
I'm sure it.
COVID hit, Prop 22.
Yeah.
You just see it. It's so funny. I was showing Kay. I was just laughing about it. It's like, did you see where COVID hit? Now do you see where Prop 22 passed?
Yeah.
There you go. There's some really funny ones too. You can track a bunch of the companies when COVID hit. You can just see, and then go back up. So, anyway, yeah, I guess that'll do it for today. Apologies for the stream issues on my end. It just sort of went away, by the way, when I changed the bitrate. Go check out Spoon's Rando, guys. I need a resident sleeper in his chat, please. You don't have to send me a screenshot of it or anything. I'll just trust somebody did it. And hopefully Spoon qualifies. Let's all send him some good vibes for that. I think that's really cool. So anything else you want to say before we end here, Spoon? Before I do the last bit of reminders from earlier?
Nope, I'm good. I'm just I don't know. I know it means nothing, but I don't know. I'm a little nervous now for the tournament.
You get a nice dinner and you'll be good. Yeah. You'll be good, dude. And don't worry about it.
It doesn't. I'm not gonna like do any. If I don't qualify, it's fine. Like it doesn't matter.
It's normal to be nervous. Just go through it. It's like taking a test. Just do it. You've practiced. If you feel good about any of your practices and you feel like you've practiced enough, don't worry about it too much.
Yeah, I've been feeling confident about the way I've been playing the last couple of days. Again, I don't think I will finish in the top half of the qualifier. I think there's too many good players. It's possible, but I wouldn't bet on it. But I think I've got a decent chance at qualifying if I play the way I've been playing, which I feel pretty good about.
That's good. I mean, that's just, you practiced, man. You're ready for this. You practiced. Yep. Anyway, last bit of stuff that we talked about in the intro. We have a merch store. Everybody, please feel free to check out that link. There's a bot command. The YouTube video will also have that. It'll be in the description. Again, I just want to reiterate, if you guys have any other ideas for like designs, you should let us both know. And if you guys, there was a list of things that we could also put on there, like blankets and such. I think I posted in Discord some time ago. Please be sure to let us know if you want us to put that on there for whatever reason, like you wanted to buy one specific item. I think all those things personally, and I think Spoon and I both agree on this, that they're priced pretty fairly for this kind of stuff. So if you just want to get some stuff, support the podcast, these are good ways to do it. If you just want to show friends and family and such the stuff that we've sold for you guys. And also don't forget YouTube. So this particular podcast, because of all the stream issues, will probably just be two different parts. Part 1 and part 2 will be uploaded separately, but I'll try and drop them up around the same time. So be sure to like and comment on both those videos. You can comment on my internet spectruming today. That'd be nice to see. So any other final thoughts before we head out, Spoon?
Don't forget to respond to the movie night poll. Those
Please,
people who are
thank
interested.
you.
Not poll, God. But the text thread.
Yes.
Scheduling that thing. Do it.
Please
the thing.
Do it. We'll maybe we should put a post in there too. But let's make sure you guys, again, even if you don't want to see the movie, just say, okay, for any other future movies, here's the best days. Here are the days that I would like to put out there as days I would like to see the movies. We'd really appreciate that. So that's going to do it. Go check out Spoon's stream. Hopefully we'll get some more Xenoblade streams at some point. Hopefully we'll get some Chrono Trigger streams, and hopefully we'll get a movie night where everybody will be in voice, just having a great time watching a silent voice. That'll be it. Hopefully everybody has a good night. See you guys hopefully at some point this week, maybe next week. See you guys.
Have a good night.